No one's going to care about you as a man until you make it. Because up until that point, society views you as worthless. They don't see you as anything until you have something to offer, until you have something to put on the table. That is what it's like being a man. You're invisible until you make it. A man is defined by the work that he does. A man is defined by what he brings to the table. And if a man doesn't have these things, he is objectively invisible. And I know it's such a hard life for men, because not all men have the capability to get there, and those who do get there, it takes them decades. You don't reach that at 21, you don't reach that at 30, you might reach that at 40 years old until you become even slightly visible. And because of women's hypergamy, which is a great thing by the way, because that advances the human race, women want a man far above themselves. And as women have now entered the workforce, and rightly so, because I want a fair playing field, I'm here for equality. I want women to work because we can't put artificial barriers. You see, the first thing that happened in the society of this world is we made an artificial barrier by not allowing women to work, okay? And that effectively gave all men a status bump, because men knew if they kept women down, then it wouldn't be so hard to do so. But now women are on the equal playing field as us. You've got to be really, really, really good at what you do in order for you to be visible. You just cannot be the average man. So you've got to be at least in that 49%, but really and truly, you've got to be in the top 20%, really, to really be seen in this world. Otherwise, you go on the bus, no one looks at you. You go to school, no one looks at you. You go to work, no one cares about you. You go there, here, everywhere, even your family. Like, if you don't make it as a man and you're 60 at the dinner table, and you're talking about wills, you're talking about things that need to be done within the family, no one's going to listen to your advice as a man. If you're 60 and you haven't done anything, no social value, no other men to relate to that's on the same level, no. No one will take your advice. Nothing worse than seeing an older man at a church and he's trying to get his way within the church community, but no one's listening to him because he brings nothing to the table. We talk about God being in our lives, talk about spirituality and all this stuff, but even there, we are still nothing more than humans. We are a vessel of water, really. All this talk about, it's okay, bro, you can stay as you are, people will love you for you, it's all BS. It's not true. These are things that are put there to make you feel better, but in reality, no one cares. If you only aim to be as you are, then how on earth are you ever going to realize your potential? Makes no sense, right? That's why you can't be content on this whole thing about, you're okay as you are, bro. The right woman is right around the corner. She's just waiting for you. No. BS. All lies. If that was true, why are all the greatest men known for doing something? Why are all the greatest men on magazines, billboards, newspapers? If that was true, why aren't men that are just being who they are, chilling at their mum's yard, not having a job, recognized for being great? We recognize men for what they can do. So now that the game is equalized with men and women, which is so totally fair in the way it should be, you've got to be way above average, far exceeding that. You just can't be stagnant in who you are. Otherwise, women are not going to look at you. You know, I look at these 18-year-old boys now, and it's funny I say that because when I was 18, I thought I was the biggest man on earth. And all men think that way, and you should think that way because that's the male ego. And the male ego is what's going to drive you later on in your life when you are able to tame it, understand it, and use it to your advantage. But I look at these 18-year-old boys now, and I think, yeah. I see why no one cared about me back then. I see why very few girls compared to now were looking at me. Because, I feel so bad saying this, but this is the reality. Most 18-year-old boys to society are absolutely worthless. Think about it. They don't have a job. They don't have a talent. Well, 99% of them don't have a talent where they can exploit that to bring something new to the table and add value to the world. They aren't able to build just yet. They haven't increased their skills. They're not wise just yet. They don't have all these philosophical traits about them just yet. They're a new duckling just hatched. And no wonder back in those days, very few girls were looking at me compared to now. No wonder no one was trying to help me in my career ladder. And even though I was really good at playing the piano, it didn't matter, because for a man to be seen as something, you got to have something tangible, something really tangible to bring to the marketplace. It doesn't matter if you're good at it. Like, if you're a guitarist that's really good, it means nothing until you're in a band which is about to blow. That's the difference, okay? So you really have 3 ways to be visible before like 30 years old as a man. The first thing that's going to make you visible as a man under 30 is you got to have extreme looks. If you've got extreme, amazing looks, then a lot of people are going to notice you just because of that. You might not get through all the subsequent doors out of that, but who cares? To be let into just one door as a man at that age is infinitely valuable. There's so many more doors to climb after that, but just one door as a man, just to be let in, just be noticed by one person is enough at that age. Because most men at 18, no one cares about them. No one's helping them. No one's trying to give them upper hand. No. No girls are looking for them. No girls are checking for them. Yeah, you might have a girlfriend. Yeah, you might even be getting married this year. But you're not really going to have that leverage and value in the marriage because you're disposable, because you haven't really got anything unique from anyone else at 18. So you might be in that relationship with a girl. Many 18-year-olds do. But she's holding all the power because she's hot. She's soon going to enter her like physical peak in the next couple of years, but you haven't even started the game just yet. So you don't really have any power in the relationship because you're effectively worth nothing. That's what young boys don't understand. Like, being in a relationship at 18 as a man is being as powerless as going to Oxford University with no prior knowledge about your degree. Like, you have nothing to offer there. So she's going to run you like a cat plays with the mouse, and she has all the power. The second one is extreme charm. You know, when you enter the room, everyone's checking for you, everyone's laughing, you make people feel so good about themselves. You know, that kind of like proverbial pool boy. He's good looking, plenty of charm. Like, he can get ahead, he can get through a few doors just on that. He's a Casanova. He can make moves just on being able to control the room, make people feel good, making people feel special. Do you know how much of a rare trait that is to go and meet someone brand new off the dot, and within seconds making feel someone so special, making that woman swoon? It's a rare trait to have. And if you can do that, you're going to be noticed. Again, you're really not going to be noticed as much as you are going to be once you're successful. But just getting through 1 or 2 doors as a man at that age is enough. Because most men are lonely at that age. Most men are sad. Most men are living the worst time of their life when they're that age. And the third way to be noticed pre-30 years old is to have a clear and direct route to success. So like I said before, no one cares about the amazing guitarist. You could be the most amazing guitarist, but no girl's going to be checking for you. No one else is going to be checking for you. No monitors are going to check in for you until you have some sort of tangible route to success. So quintessentially, in the same parallel universe, if you're a football player and you're amazing, you're better than Messi, but you're not on a football team, no one cares. However, if you're Messi, you play as good as Messi, you're amazing at what you do, and you're also in the Chelsea under-16 football team, then everyone will be checking for you. Then the head teacher will be looking at you thinking, wow, look at Jimmy go. No one cares about your talents alone at that age. Because at that age, all you are really is just pure potential, bare potential. Potential, but no actualization of your dream. And the truth is, even though someone like me, I can recognize potential decades ahead of time, the majority of people in this world, 99.9% of these people in this world, they cannot see potential forming into something amazing. I can see it and I can almost guarantee it. If I look at someone, an 8-year-old boy, I can almost guarantee a success as long as his family doesn't go into some crazy financial difficulty and things just crumble, or he becomes sick because of some sort of life problem. But apart from those 2 things, I can almost guarantee a man or woman becoming successful in their career path just by having a 2-minute conversation with somebody. I can roughly estimate their IQ up to about 150. Past that, I don't know because I'm not that smart. But because most people have less than 150 IQ, I can estimate it. And the way I can estimate it is because I have an IQ of 136, I can kind of feel it in my blood if someone's smarter than me. There's just this little thing. And I think everyone can do this really. There's this little screw that just kind of like screws in. It's like, yeah, that guy, that woman, he's way smarter than me. I can just feel it. Past 150 and that's just some next level realm that I just can't understand. And underneath that, I can kind of spot differences between someone that has 100 IQ and 120. There's a big difference between those two types of people. One is average, one can be a lawyer, but not the best lawyer. So anyway, I'm digressing, but those are the things that can make you valuable as a man before you actually actualize your success, okay? It has to be tangible because most people can just not read pure potential. See, as a young boy, all you are is a promise note for potential. It's like your bank note. It's not actually real. It's a promissory note that this money is worth this in gold, or so it used to be, but you get the idea. An 18-year-old boy, he's just a promise note saying to the world, I have potential. I might not actualize it yet, but let's see. And the majority of you will never actualize that potential. Now, the ones watching this, most of you will, because you guys obviously have high IQs, hence why you're watching this show. But most men will never reach their full potential because they're going to give up too early in the race and think like life is too hard before the game's even started yet. And the reason they do this is because they don't even know that the game is there. They think they're on the same playing field as other people. But really and truly, you know, the game does not start for a man until about 30 years old because you have nothing until then. But if you just hanged on to that dream, to that aspiration, you would see the game start happening around 35 to 40. That's when everything kicks in and the formation starts going in. Like, I'm just starting to watch Star Trek right now, and they're telling me that in Star Trek The Next Generation, it only kicks into the peak Star Trekky fandom until season 3. So I'm watching now season 1, now I'm on season 2, and I'm waiting for that potential to be actualized. And the potential is there for Star Trek because I know that they've made 7 seasons of that show, and there's so many other spin-offs in the franchise. So I know that clearly they got something going for them. So I'm gonna put the time in and kind of work with that potential because I believe in it, because it's been actualized. So people only will believe in you once you're at the end of the finish line and you're there and you've won. They just don't have the fortitude to understand what's going to happen next. It's the same thing as Star Trek. People are going to wait till you actualize yourself. You have 7 seasons of this show, then you have 20 other spin-offs, 5 films, or whatever it is. They're going to wait to that moment and then they're going to invest in you. That's men, that's women, that's employers, that's potential sponsors. They're only going to jump into you once you've really made it. But until then, life's going to be peak. Life's going to be so difficult. You're going to be crying every single day in your head. Please don't be crying. Unless it's something real peak, men. Please don't be crying, like in your bed, because of success, even though it hurts. Because I know the feeling, because you feel like you have all this kind of oomph within you and you're not being allowed to let it out because of all these gatekeepers. But what you don't understand is one day you're going to be that very same gatekeeper and you're going to be able to control the marketplace if you only hang in there. So don't do stupid things like have unprotected beep and get a girl pregnant young, 18, 19, 20. If that happens, your chance of success has pretty much gone to zero because now your whole life is focused on making that child feasible. Just hang in there. Even though that pretty cute girl's like dangling the carrot at you and you think, oh my God, this is as good as ever going to get. Just hang in on there because life is going to get better. You have no idea how great you can be. Just hang on in there. Wait it out. It's slow. They say proverbially that the turtle wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's what you've got to be doing for until 30, 35, 40. Life is so dead as a man until you've made it. I just can't even express to you how bad it is. I know you know how bad it is, but I want to explain to you the difference because I would never, ever go back to me being 21 ever again. It was the worst time of my life. All through my teens, up until 25, 26, until I started running my own production company, really, life was just dead. I hated it. Sometimes I wanted to off myself because I just wasn't getting what I wanted out of life. I knew I had all of this to offer the world, but no one cared about it. But now that I have the potential, everyone's running for me. Everyone's offering me money. Everyone's offering me opportunities. Everyone wants to fly me out. Everyone wants to treat me nicely. I have the charm. I have the skills. I have the success to back it. It's like, raw. You know, it's mad. Like these days, like I don't even want to tell girls my name because what they're going to do is they're going to Google my name and think, oh my God, you were, and this literally has happened one time. I swear to God, I met this girl at a festival and we decided to like go out to the pub afterwards and she was with some of her friends and so we went to this pub And she said, I want to go to the toilet. And you know how girls do it. They all went to the toilet together. And then she came back and said, hey, I just Googled your name. Like, I saw you in the BBC, man. Like, whoa, why did you do that? Because it kind of ruins all the fun for me. But that kind of experience would never happen back in the day because I had nothing to offer. I had nothing on the table. Literally, I was dating another girl and it ended like maybe last month. And I told her, just don't tell your friends and family about me until like any things become more serious, because that's how I am. Like, and then she forced me to go on this group chat, and then lo and behold, her sister and her brother was on the group chat. It was a video call actually, and she told everything about me, and like, oh my gosh, wow, she's a great person, all this stuff. And it's like, great, but these kind of experiences would never would have happened back in those days. Back in those days, very few girls were chasing me. Now it's like I control the ground that I walk on. The path to winning for me now is very, 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 very clear. Now I'm fully visible. And that's not because I'm a better intrinsically person. That's not because I've gone any better looking or because I've increased my charm. I'm the same exact Hezron as I was when I was 18 or 21. But now I've actually actualized part of my success. And you might be thinking, oh, that's so superficial of people. You know, how can they treat you differently just because of success? You can think what you want, but I'm telling you, that's how the world works. And that's the game that you have to play. Otherwise, you will go to your grave and no one will be there at your funeral. And that's a sad place to be. Of course, you're never going to see your own funeral, of course, unless you're some sort of alien from a different race. But the thought of no one coming to your funeral should scare you, because that's just an indicator that you've done nothing with your life. An acquaintance of mine, Sam, he was 29 years old or 28 years old, and he died the other day. Just got married a year ago, just had a baby a year ago, and unfortunately he died in his sleep. Super sad story, but oh my God, you should have seen his funeral. It was packed to the brim. We could not find seats. That was the first funeral ever where I had to stand up for the entirety of it because I could not find seats in this church. And there were so many seats in this church. It was a medium-sized church, maybe 300 seats available, but it was packed out. I'm sure maybe 400 or 500 people came to that church service. It was nuts. And that many people came to this church funeral service because he was a pillar of the community. He was ordained priest. He helped people. He had value to give. And he had all those people in his funeral because he was a man of value. But if you don't become that man, you're going to have no one at your funeral. You better be lucky if your mum and dad is still alive to go to your funeral, bro. The best cure for a man's depression is becoming successful. I can almost guarantee to you right now, without even knowing you, whatever problem you're facing, whatever depression you're going through, I bet, I can 99.9% bet, right? The depression would all go away if you became successful at your dream right now. I can guarantee it. And I know that because a man is judged by his value. Without value, a man is worth nothing. And you can feel this biologically because you just have this urge to do something about it. And a lot of you might be lazy to do something about it, but that's not our problem. You've got to go after it. You've got to chase that bag. You've got to chase that dream, chase that success. Otherwise, you'll forever be lonely, miserable, and it's not so bad when you're 20 or 30 or 40 because you're still young, you can still go out there, you can still do your hobbies and stuff. But when you're 60 and 70, you still don't have that value. Oh my God, it's so peak. You know those stories you hear about old people and they have no one to talk to and they only come to the shop to talk to someone at the cashier's desk. But look at someone like Dave Ramsey. He's still got bare people around him. Look at Bill Gates, bare people around him. Look at Morgan Freeman. There will forever be loads of people around these people because they had so much value to offer the world. They still do. But they can now live off that past success because people, when they invite them to do talks for universities, talks in arenas, talk to their corporate days, retreats, days off, all that kind of stuff. Life ain't that bad as a man if you have the value to offer, and you have to put yourself in the top 10 or 20%. Otherwise, it's not enough. You can't be like the top 49%. You're barely cutting it. You'll get a little bit of wins here or there, but you really need to be doing some serious wins. Otherwise, you will forever be miserable, lonely, depressed, and sad. And it's no place to be. I would not switch my 21-year-old self for the world right now. Life sucked back then. It's so bad. Ugh. But now, life is amazing. It's like I'm having a vacation every single day. I can walk out that door with my head held high, and I know people are looking at me. It's a different worldview compared to when I was an 18-year-old boy with nothing to offer on the table. Just a lowly pianist and piano teacher, just trying to go after my dream. But now that I've actualized part of it and I'm being flown out here, there and everywhere, oh my God, now they want to know. What's that Dave song? Now they want to know. Got things on my line. That song by Santan Dave. Amazing song. Now they want to know. This is just how the world works, and you've got to accept that. Don't get angry at, oh my God, why should people only like me for my success and my value, my work? Well, you can think what you want and you can say that all day and you can write at home doing that. But at the end of the day, the people that go out there and win, the men that go out there and slay that dragon are going to be the ones that are going to be recognized and valuable, and they're not going to be lonely, sad and depressed. So you really have two options. You can stay depressed, stay miserable, and not believe what I'm saying and let the world just pass you by. Let time go right past you and then have nothing to show for it when it's time to enter your grave. Or you can choose to accept these sad truths about life, and you can go out there, chase the bag, chase your dream, become a better man, read loads of books about self-development. You can learn about the law of attraction. You can go out there and learn these hard truths. A lot of the truths about the world are not easy. A lot of them are so sad and depressing. But in taking that short-term pain, learning these depressing truths about the world, you can use that as a stepping stone for you to grow. You can use that as a way for you to have more motivation. You can use that as a way to beat the rest of the competition, because while the rest of the competition is just sitting there whining, oh my God, I can't believe this is the way life is. This is so hard. This is so difficult. Why is life like this? Why isn't it the way I want it to be like? Why can't I have it as my teenage fantasy dream? Why isn't it, Mum, while they sit there whining and complaining and whinging about how life is so hard, you're going to go out there and you're going to beat the rest of the competition, and you're going to become that 20% man. This is the Hezron Springer Show.